in cash, and I don't know if this obligates us to bond for it.
No, there is no obligation to bond for that. It just allows for it. You would have to have a discussion and make a decision as to how you want to fund this. Normally, under road projects, we would come to you and say, we'd like to do a bond issue, and here's what we want to finance. But, because this wasn't in our original capital plan, we might look to some other methods to try to fund this.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Or is there a motion to introduce it?
Motion to
Introduce. Is there a second?
Second.
It's moved by Ms. Krummeller and seconded by Mr. Miller. Madam Clerk, please read the roll.
Ms. Howard?
Yes.
Ms. Krummeller?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Liverman?
Yes.
Ms. Butler?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. And the public hearing for this ordinance will be on April 28th, 2014. Second ordinance is an ordinance by Princeton authorizing the acceptance of deeds for permanent pedestrian pathway easements and temporary construction easements for Block 10-201, Lot 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Princeton Municipal Tax Map. Mr. Kaiser, if you can explain this project for us.
Yes, thank you very much. 2 years ago, there was a pathway constructed from the Friends School to the Historical Society headquarters on Quaker Road. And what this easement provides for is extending that pathway from the Historical Society headquarters all the way to the DNR Canal towpath. And the Institute for Advanced Study is granting this easement to Princeton at no cost for that purpose.
That's terrific. Thank you.
So moved.
It's moved by Ms. Butler and seconded by Ms. Krummeller.
I just had a quick question. I'm sorry, this just indulge my curiosity for just a second. I saw in the resolution that the town was referred to as qualifying as 501c3. I don't recall seeing that language before. Is that a requirement of this particular deed grant? I was a little surprised to see that language in the ordinance.
I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to the question. I agree with you. It's not something I've customarily seen in an ordinance, but I didn't prepare this one, so I don't know if it has to be in there or not.
Okay, so we actually don't know the source of that
Well,
language.
if you could, maybe if we can introduce it tonight, and if there's an issue with it, if we can amend it before the next meeting.
That's fine. Would that be a substantive amendment or not necessarily? No. Okay. I'd have to check.
I think it's already been moved and seconded, so
Yep.
Madam Clerk, please read the roll.
Ms. Howard?
Yes.
Ms. Krummeller?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Liverman?
Yes.
Ms. Butler?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. And the public hearing for this will also be on April 28th, 2014. And now we'll go back to our resolutions, picking up with 1490, which is the Highlands Water Protection and Planning Act. This was something that was recommended to us by the Environmental Commission that we pass. Is there a motion to approve this?
So moved.
Second.
It's moved by Ms. Butler, seconded by Ms. Krummeller. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The resolution passes unanimously. The next is 14-91, mutual aid agreement between Princeton and the Township of Ewing for emergency management services.
So moved.
Second.
It's moved by Ms. Krummeller, seconded by Ms. Butler. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That resolution passes unanimously. 14-92, Griggs Corner Parking Lot Annual Lease Agreement for $31,324.87.
I have a comment on that.
I have a question too.
Okay. Ms. Krummeller, then Ms. Butler.
Okay, since I was wondering if we should consider, and I think we should consider passing this cost on to the user by raising the meter rates in that lot. I don't know, I think if we routinely get increases in the rent, why not, instead of having the general taxpayer fund that cost, maybe the people who actually use it should pay for it.
What I would suggest you do is, one of the things on my to-do list between now and the end of this year is to look at that rate structure, because you're going to be due to take a look at the garage, and any rate changes down in the CBD, you should kind of look at in a little bit bigger picture, because, we try to balance that rate structure with the garage rate structure. So if you just hold off on it, we're very sensitive to that. It's still a really good deal. This is our highest producing per meter lot. We get more
Yeah,
money
well,
out of there than any other meters in the CBD.
That's one of the reasons I thought if it's that desirable, it's a supply and demand
I
issue.
just wouldn't do it in isolation, that's all. The way the meter ordinance is structured, it covers meters in the CBD. So
Okay.
we should take a look at that. It is on my list to
Okay, I
take
think
a
we
look
should,
at.
just for the benefit of the taxpayers.
Ms. Butler?
She covered it.
Similar questioning? Okay. All right. So is there a motion?
Second.
It's moved by Mr. Miller, seconded by Ms. Butler. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That resolution also passes unanimously. Next is 14-93 bid award, Pat Scanlon Landscaping Incorporated, 2014 Spring Planting Project for $4,919.
So moved.
Second.
It's moved by Ms. Krummeller, seconded by Mr. Miller. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That resolution passed unanimously. The next is a 14-94, resolution authorizing the appointment of Regan Burkholder, Summit Collaborative Advisors, as consultant for administrator selection process, not to exceed $4,500.
So moved.
Second.
It's moved by Ms. Butler, seconded by Mr. Miller. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution passes unanimously. Next is 14-95, Supplemental Professional Services Agreement, Ira Whitman, PE, LSRP, Inspection and Monitoring Services to be paid from escrow.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Krummeller, seconded by Mr. Liverman.
Mayor,
And, question?
Is there a not to exceed on this?
No, there's no not to exceed, because the payment is completely out of land use escrows, and that's the way we set up all of the professional services agreements relating to the land use work. We draw upon this expertise on an as-needed basis.
So it's out of the escrow, though? It's not out of the taxpayers?
Correct, there's
Okay.
completely out of escrow, no taxpayer money at all.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The resolution passes unanimously. I'm going to do the next two together, 90, well, actually, if there's no disagreement, why don't we do the next three together, 96, 97, 98. The renewal of the PSA with Greater Mercer TMA for transportation services, PSA, Van Cleef Engineering Associates Landscape Engineering Inspections to be paid from escrow, PSA, Van Cleef Engineering Associates Inspection Services for sanitary sewer capital construction projects, not to exceed $25,000.
I'll move all of those.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Krummeller, seconded by Mr. Liverman. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Those resolutions pass unanimously. And now I'll take the last four together, 100 through 103, resolutions for current fund emergency temporary budget, resolution affordable housing utility fund emergency temporary budget, resolution parking utility fund emergency temporary budget, and resolution naming negotiating committee for Comcast franchise negotiations. Are there any questions on these? Or is there a motion?
A question on all three of the temporary budgets is they refer to attached appropriations, which I don't think we got in our packets, but you say they're on the website?
Yeah, and actually, the first one, that was the current fund, which is the largest one, it did have the attachment on there, but unfortunately, the other two smaller ones for affordable housing and for parking didn't get attached, but they were included in that file. So I can certainly forward you those, but all this really is another month of what we have proposed for each of these budgets to get us through until we adopt the final budget.
Okay, just,
Excel file, page 1, page 2, page 3. There was 3 tabs on the Excel file.
Right.
Okay, I received,
Tabs.
I mean, maybe I missed the email, but I received 30 attachments, or 30 different documents for this meeting, and none of those are an Excel file.
I'll double check on that.
So I'm at a loss as to whether we should vote on these, or whether we should, maybe have a special vote on Wednesday on this, after we've received the appropriations.
Does that cause a problem, Kathy, to wait till Wednesday?
No, if you address it Wednesday, that's fine. I don't think it's on the agenda for Wednesday.
No.
I mean, unless, Wednesday is a budget meeting, but
It's,
it's,
We can
it is a
table-
budget meeting, right? And
Yeah, but we already put out the agenda because it's Wednesday.
I recall Borough Council amending the agenda the day of. Is that not legal?
is that possible?
Yeah.
I have to review the notice, but normally for a special meeting, you can't amend your agenda, but it depends on how you framed
So you
it.
can or cannot?
You cannot, but it depends on how you phrase the notice, so I'll double check that for you.
And the next meeting after that would be the following Wednesday, which is also a special meeting. So,
Yeah, but we haven't,
But yeah, you
we
have
haven't
enough
put out the
time.
agenda for that yet, so we could potentially do it then because we could, if we noticed it the right way and put
is
it.
that too much of a delay, though, for the staff in terms of what we actually need?
Why don't we let the staff talk and move on to the consent agenda and then come back? Go ahead.
The only problem I have is that they did come through for me.
You did get
Yeah, they're right here. That's why I don't know.
The Excel spreadsheet.
I didn't get the Excel spreadsheet.
Part one, it
I didn't get the Excel spreadsheet, no.
Right, it refers to the attached
So
appropriations.
if it's the council's pleasure, to the consent agenda, and then we'll get this question and answer just to keep things moving. So consent agenda contains items of a routine nature which are approved by a single vote. A, bills and claims. B, maintenance performance guarantees. Release of maintenance guarantee, Project 11-03, reconstruction of Scott Lane and Bainbridge Street. C, 14-104, resolution, banner request for Princeton University announcing the Princeton Festival to be hung over Washington Road, June 9th through 16th, 2014. D, 14-105, resolution, banner request for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society announcing the Light the Night to be hung over Washington Road, October 13th through 20th, 2014. E, noise waiver, Hunter Roberts Construction Group, NJDOT sanitary sewer work, Route 206 and North Stanworth Drive, April 7th through 18th, 2014. And item F, 14-106, resolution supporting the mayor's wellness campaign. Is there a motion, or is there a desire to remove one of the items?
Can I just ask a quick question of Ms. Howard? Did you review the legal bills?
I did, but I'm also happy to, Kathy, I think, was happy to put them off if you want to wait till the next one.
Okay, well, no, she sent them attached. I must have missed the first one, but I did review it, and I'm okay as is. I just wanted to check.
Thank you.
Okay, so is there a motion to approve?
I make a motion that we accept all these in block.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Liverman, seconded by Ms. Butler. All in favor? Aye. Okay, the consent agenda passes, and then we'll go back to the question as to the scheduling of, and the difficulty of moving.
I think you can, the way the notice is worded for this Wednesday's meeting, it does indicate formal action might be taken. So I think you could get away with it. My preference would be that you put it off for a week when you can actually list these on an agenda. I mean, that would be the ideal. But if you need to do it this coming Wednesday, I think the notice is worded so that you could actually do that.
Well, another alternative is if we can produce them, I'd be willing to take a 5 or 10 minute recess and just go through them. They're not that
Oh, I think
involved.
Linda just handed them to you.
She handed one of them to me. I've got, the website actually has at least one of them. Does it have all three? It does have all three?
All right. That's fine. We can take, if you have them here, why don't we take a 5-minute break so we just get them done, and then we can come.
I'd be very willing to do
Yeah, why don't we do that? And then I know we've all had a lot of reading to do in preparation for this meeting, but if you could get in the request before that we could, but I know that we're all working at the last
Short
minute.
notice.
So, yeah, no, it's,
While we're doing that, the other question I did have on these is, some of them use 2013 versus 2014. Was that deliberate, or should all the years be 2014 in all of the resolutions?
14.
I do move that we amend the resolution so that anywhere the 2013 appears, it's 2014.
That's a good catch.
On the website, 100 does have the detail, if anyone else wants to read it before.
I can't get on. I'm getting a weird, yeah.
You on?
Yeah, I managed to get on early and I just stayed on. Look what's coming up with my, take it off. Yeah, I'm getting a just pass.
Sometimes the default works better. It does. Were you able to get the documents? No. And are you satisfied? I think we all defer to you.
If Kevin's satisfied, I'm satisfied.
Okay. So do we have access to the other two? Is that what we're waiting for?
They don't look like Excel documents.
I don't know that we do.
No, but look, watch.
Patrick, I have heard
This. Where was the Excel document?
Does anybody down here want to look at them?
No, I'm really happy that you're looking at them, Patrick.
I'll take Patrick's word for it.
Okay. All right, so
that's back into my...
is there, was there a motion already?
Well, I'll move those three, the temporary budget ones, 100, 101, 102, as a block.
Can we add in the naming
100
negotiating ones? So we-
100, 101, 102, 103.
Oh, and cable also, yes, I will
Yeah.
add
okay.
that also.
And is there a second?
Second.
Okay, so it's moved by Mr. Simon, seconded by Mr. Miller. All in favor?
Aye.
And those block of resolutions pass unanimously. And is there a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Yes.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of Princeton, this body will now convene into a closed session that will be limited only to consideration of an item or items with respect to which the public may be excluded pursuant to Section 7B of the Open Public Meetings Act. General nature of the subject or subjects to be discussed in said session is as follows. Personnel negotiations, AFSCME/Teamsters, personnel updates. Stated as precisely as presently possible, the following are the time when and the circumstances under which the discussion conducted at said session can be disclosed to the public within 90 days or upon settlement of litigation if applicable.